What up, what up, what up? It's the BLONGshow. I'm gonna show y'all how to pull off an alternator and put one back on. I guess I'm gonna put it back on this time. Usually I don't show people how to put it back together because I figure if you could take it apart, you can put it back together. But this time I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Alright, so first of all, my battery started losing power while I'm driving down the street. My battery light come on. So that means either my battery messed up, my starter messed up, or my alternator messed up. And since the car was driving and I would go 90 miles an hour and the battery light come on, that made me feel like it's the alternator or the serpentine belt. So what happened ultimately is the power started getting lower and lower in the car, which let me know that that's the alternator, because if it was the battery or the starter, the power wouldn't keep getting lower and lower. The battery wouldn't start the car, the starter would be sticking, and the serpentine belt would be squeaking. I went and I decided to check it. And so what I did is charge my battery with my battery charger. And once I charged my battery with the battery charger, I started the truck up and I unhooked this positive cable. Once I unhooked that positive cable, the truck immediately turned off. That lets you know automatically that your alternator is gone. So one thing you have to be aware of when you're doing this type of work, if you got a car that has a memory on it or not, because then you might have to stick a memory saver on your car before you unhook your battery. Make sure that if you got the car with the memory on it, you get the memory stick, and or you can hook something to your battery to keep a little trickle charge on it, because basically what it do, not on your battery but on your battery cable, because basically what it do is keep a charge on the car so that that memory don't fade out and then you have to get it reset by the computer. Alright, so you see the alternator? It's right under the breather and everything. We gotta take this off, we gotta take this off so we can get down there to that. So this is a F150. But typically it's the same thing for all cars. You just might have a little bit difference, but you just gotta look at it and make a decision. If you don't know what you're doing, I suggest you save your bolts somewhere like that. You put them up right where you take them off, so then you at least have an idea of where they go back. I really don't care where I put mine at because I know where they go, but that's just a tip for people that don't know. Alright, now let's get to taking the breather off. You can use a screwdriver for that too if you wanted to. I'm just being a little lazy. I got on house shoes, that's how easy this is. Y'all can do it just like that. Loosen this one up right here too. So that way you ain't gotta like take everything off, we just twist it. Pull this little sensor off. If you break the clip on it, don't worry about it. My clip broke, but it's still down in there. It's just a little piece on the top broke off. Who cares? Don't come off unless you pull it off. Well, I went and got the screwdriver. What up? Slide this on off. There you go. Got that out the way. You can lay your parts on the ground the same way you take them off the car. Make them facing the same way. That'll help you put them back on facing the right way.
Okay.
You don't have to go to a dealership or some shop and let somebody work on your car. You can do all this stuff yourself. This is the reason I'm making these videos. I'm making them so everybody can save their money. You see that? We got the alternator already. So now all we gotta do, we gotta go down there and we gotta release the tension off of the serpentine belt. So to release the tension off of the serpentine belt, you gotta put a ratchet right in here or a breaker bar. You stick it in there and you twist it just like you twisting something to loosen it up, and that'll come up or down, and you just take your belt off. I would advise you to take a picture of your belt routing, unless you got something like this that'll tell you how to put your belt back on. Because if you don't remember, you still can get the belt back on, but you might not route it the right way. And so if you get the belt on and you don't route it the right way, you might not be charging something, or you might have something overheating, or you might not have something getting liquidated like it's supposed to. So make sure you do that the right way. Make sure you know how your belt go back on. So see where I stuck that ratchet at down in there? And I like to use a pipe for leverage. You know, you get you a pipe and make it a lot easier to do stuff. So see how that's moving that pulley when I push on it? So now I can just easily take the belt off of this alternator. And what I'm gonna do is try to leave it off of the alternator without taking it off of everything else. Make sure you ease back on that. So you gotta take this hot bolt off back here. All of them gonna have all the same things on them. They're just in different places, and sometimes they hooked up a different way. So I'm gonna take that hot bolt off. Then I'm gonna take the bracket, whatever bracket's holding it. Let's look and see. Alright, so this bracket holding it, that's 3 screws, but I'll probably just take one off. You gotta unplug it. And we got 2 screws down here. So let's get to it. Nice and easy. 10 millimeter. So I hope you know where these bolts go, because you're taking them out the doggone alternator. You don't know where them go, I don't know what to tell you. So I'm gonna fast forward the video for you right now so you don't have to sit there and watch me just twisting these bolts. Alright, so now you just gotta unplug these 2 plugs and you halfway through. So you see the plug on the inside, so we're gonna get a screwdriver. So you gotta get a screwdriver, lift that up a little bit, and just lift up on it. Some people say just like that. In a similar fashion. Only thing I'm gonna pull on it with my hand. Once I lift it up. Don't pull on the wire. Look at that. See that clip? It broke. Remember I told you don't worry about it when it breaks. Just make life easier for you anyway. They usually just put extra stuff on there like that from the factory because it's necessary for them to sell the car as saying that it's appropriate. But like I said, don't pull on the wire because your wire could be weak and you'll just break it, and then you put the alternator on, you'll be wondering why it's still ain't charging or it won't start because you broke the wire. So I'm gonna hit those clamps with some spray, take this alternator up here and get me another one. I ain't gotta sit there and tell them can they check it for me when I get up there because I already checked it myself. Like I told you at the beginning of the video, and I'll come back and show you how to put it back in. I had a little corrosion in there, that's why I hit those with that. Usually all you need to do is put some of that wire grease in there. So as I told you before, buy your parts from Advanced Auto online so you can get a discount. But anyway, when you get your new alternator, you're going to have all this stuff on there. Take time out to read the instructions if you don't know about cars or you don't really know what you're doing. You know, take a minute to read these instructions because these instructions will help you out. But back to it. So when you replace your alternator, you want to make sure that your battery, you charge your battery up, because you don't want your new alternator trying to work hard to charge your battery when you start the car up, and then you wearing out the brushes before you even really get to use them inside the alternator. So make sure your battery charged up. Now all you do is reverse the steps. This time I told y'all I'll show y'all the reverse steps instead of telling you that you just got to figure it out since you already took it apart. I'll go ahead and show you how to do it this time. So put the alternator back up under there. What way did I take this thing out? Ouch. Plug your cables back in. You hear that click? That's my broke one. I told you, don't really matter if you break it. Still gonna snap in. We're gonna put this on last. Look at that, you're almost done. This is another reason I don't like to show people how to put stuff back together, because like I said, it don't take that long. And you shouldn't have to work too hard to put it back together. I got a little corrosion on there. I'm gonna just throw a little grease on there. I always got some type of grease into my hood because I make sure stuff is greased up. See that little grease I put on the battery after I cleaned the corrosion off? You put that little grease on there to stop the corrosion from coming back so fast. So I just grease these up so they're easier for me to screw in with my hands, so I ain't gotta be screwing so long with the ratchet. %90 of the parts use the righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So right now I'm turning the bolt to the right. Let me know if my hand in the way and y'all can't see. That's a joke, I can't hear y'all. Okay, it's hurting my fingers, so. So every bolt on the car is supposed to be screwed down with a certain torque. I just feel like I got enough sense to screw it down enough. So I don't torque it, but you can use the torque wrench to know how much torque you're putting on each bolt. But I've been good since I've been working on cars for the last 25 years, so I think I'm alright. Put this cable back on. Do not tighten that tight. Just holding the cable on. You tighten it tight and break it. Don't feel stupid. And I don't know what to tell you as far as getting it to replace it. Maybe you go to the junkyard and get another one if you break it. Alright, so now we slap this belt back on. So remember I told you leave the belt where it's at as much as you can. And then you ain't got to work too much to figure out where you left off with the belt. So all I got to do is straighten it up a little bit. And I'm good. Put my pipe back on my ratchet. Pull the belt back up. We got the belt on. Let's throw this breather back on. Slap it on here first. And then just twist it down. Stick it on there. Make sure it's flush all the way around. Make sure you got your parts stuck in there. Get the screwdriver and tighten the clamp up. Don't have to be extra tight, it ain't going nowhere. It's just to hold it on there. Put your little sensor back on. Another broke one, but you heard that snap, didn't you? Yep, because it don't matter if it's broke. Like I said, that's just what the dealership, the manufacturer had to do. Put all that extra stuff on it just for liability reasons. That'll never come off. Basically, we're done now. We just need to hook the battery back up. Tighten that joint up. You can't twist it with your hand, it's tight enough. Cover that back up with that. Start your car up and roll out. It's the BLONGshow. Sell your money. I have to slap this on. It's just a cover anyway. It didn't matter if I put it back on or not. It wouldn't hurt nothing. It's just for style. But anyway, it's going back on. Peace.